Thanksgiving had always been about family. Or at least, that's what I used to believe. Every year, we gathered around the same table, shared the same food, and pretended everything was equal. But deep down, I always knew the truth. My sister Emily was the favorite. She always had been. Growing up, it was obvious in small ways at first. She got the better gifts, the bigger celebrations, the louder praise. When she succeeded, it was expected. When I did, it was barely noticed. I told myself it didn't matter. I worked harder, stayed quiet, built my own path. Still, I kept showing up. Because no matter how unfair it felt, they were still my family. That Thanksgiving night started like any other. The house was full. Laughter echoed through the rooms. The table was packed with food, and everyone seemed happy. My parents were hosting, moving around proudly like everything was perfect. Emily sat at the center, of course, telling stories, making everyone laugh. I stayed on the side, helping in the kitchen, cleaning plates, doing what I always did. After dinner, my mom stood up, smiling brightly. "We have a little Thanksgiving surprise this year," she announced. Immediately, everyone turned their attention toward her. Emily leaned forward excitedly. I stayed quiet. I had learned not to expect much. My dad reached into a drawer and pulled out a sleek envelope. "Emily," he said, handing it to her. She opened it quickly. At first, her face went blank. Then suddenly, she screamed. "A cruise? Are you serious?" The room exploded with excitement. "Oh my God! That's amazing. You're so lucky." Everyone rushed toward her, hugging her, celebrating like she had just won something incredible. She laughed, glowing with attention. "I've always wanted this," she said loudly. I smiled politely from where I stood. Then my mom turned toward me. "And for you?" Her tone was lighter, almost casual. She handed me something small. I opened it slowly. A $2 lottery ticket. For a moment, I just stared at it. The difference was so obvious, it almost felt intentional. The room went quiet for a second, then a few people chuckled awkwardly. Emily laughed the loudest. "Wow, they really went all out for you," she said, smirking. A couple of relatives joined in with soft laughter. I forced a smile. "Yeah, guess they did," I said quietly. But inside, something shifted. It wasn't about the money. It was about the message. I looked at my parents, hoping, just for a second, that they'd explain it, that they'd say it was a joke, or that something else was coming. But they didn't. They just smiled like everything was normal. Like this was fair. "Hey, you never know," my dad said with a shrug. "Maybe you'll win big." More laughter. I nodded slowly. "Yeah, maybe." I folded the ticket and slipped it into my pocket. The rest of the night went on like nothing had happened. Emily kept talking about the cruise, destinations, plans, photos she wanted to take. Everyone listened, engaged, excited. No one asked about me. No one even mentioned the ticket again. By the time I left, I had already made a decision. Next year. I wouldn't come back. But as I walked out into the cold night, one thought stayed in my mind. That tiny $2 ticket in my pocket might be worth more than anyone in that house realized. I didn't check the ticket that night. Honestly, I forgot about it. It stayed in my jacket pocket for days, then weeks. Life moved on like it always did. Work, bills, long hours, and quiet nights. That Thanksgiving felt like just another reminder of where I stood in my own family. Until one random evening. I was cleaning out my jacket when the ticket slipped out and fell to the floor. I stared at it for a moment. Then I laughed under my breath. "Yeah, right," I muttered. Still, something made me pick up my phone and check the numbers. One by one. First number. Match. I frowned. Second number. Match. My heartbeat slowed, then suddenly started speeding up. Third number. Match. I sat up straight. No way. Fourth number. Match. My hands started shaking. Fifth number. Match. Now I couldn't breathe. There was only one number left. I checked it once. Then again. Then a third time. Match. I froze. Every single number matched. I grabbed my laptop, opened another site, checked again. Same result. Jackpot. $100 million. I leaned back in my chair, staring at the ceiling. The same ticket everyone laughed at. The same $2 joke. Had just changed my entire life. For a long time, I didn't tell anyone. Not my coworkers. Not my friends. And definitely not my family. Instead, I stayed quiet. I contacted a lawyer first. Then a financial advisor. Everything had to be done right. Carefully. Smartly. Within weeks, my entire life started shifting behind the scenes. Accounts were set up. Investments were planned. Opportunities opened that I had never even imagined before. And still, I said nothing. Then one evening, my phone rang. It was my mom. "We're having a small family dinner this weekend," she said. "You should come." For a second, I almost said no. But then I paused. And thought about that night. The laughter. The looks. The way they made me feel small. I smiled slightly. "Yeah," I said calmly. "I'll be there." That dinner felt very different. Same house. Same table. Same people. Emily was talking about her cruise again, showing pictures, laughing like always. No one noticed me walk in. Until I sat down. My dad glanced at me. "Oh, you made it," he said casually. I nodded. "Yeah." Then he asked, almost out of habit, "So, how have you been?" I leaned back in my chair. Calm. Relaxed. Different. "Good," I said. Then I reached into my bag and placed a single document on the table. At first, no one reacted. Then my father picked it up. And as his eyes moved across the page, his expression changed completely. My father's hands trembled as he read the paper. This isn't possible," he whispered. My mother leaned in, her face turning pale within seconds. Emily stopped talking, her smile slowly fading as the silence spread across the room. "What is it?" she asked. I looked at her calmly. "It's the lottery confirmation," I said. $100 million. No one laughed this time. My father stared at me. "You actually won?" I nodded. Yes. The same people who once ignored me were now looking at me like everything had changed. And maybe it had. My mother suddenly softened her tone. "We're so proud of you." Emily forced a smile. "Guess that ticket worked out, huh?" I held their gaze for a moment, then spoke quietly. "Funny. When it was just a $2 ticket, it was a joke." The room fell silent again. I stood up, grabbing my coat. But now that it's worth something, suddenly I matter. No one said a word. I paused at the door, then looked back one last time. You gave her the cruise, and me the ticket. A small smile crossed my face. Looks like I got the better deal. And with that I walked out. This time not hurt, not ignored, but finally free.